You are watching
What they
Xirtus.
really believe is that, there's no way that an ultimate God would not control the devil or actually create the devil and allow it to be what it is in this world. It's a duality, essentially, right? It's splitting itself, and it's got to play both sides of it because it's got to keep us captured within a certain paradigm. It's got to have a ceiling, it's got to have a floor of what it is that we can experience because it's trying to bounce us down a timeline until we get to the point where we perfect things. It wants an ultimate good outcome, but it has to have the thing that judges us, and it has to have that thing that tests us that's on the opposite side. And this is where you get into the, like, the occultist esoteric belief of it being considered Abraxas, and you get the BRA. The BRA is very important because this is your Brahma, this is your Abraham, right?
Ahriman.
This is where you get a bra. This is where you get the
Mm.
bran or the brain or branching, right? This is the divide. This is why there's two legs like that and it's split. You're getting a thing that has to brave splitting off, or the Y chromosome. This is why men are here, is because we are the ones that have to be brave and split off and start interfacing with things in this world
Well,
that get us some sort of mutation that causes us to battle that mutation or whatever it is, and then get some sort of features from that, and then we go and breed it back in, and we become stronger and stronger within this world. So it's
mm.
not all totally negative. You have to face negativity in this world. You're going to have to face the devil. You're going to have to face tests, and then you go through cycles, and then you got to face Janus, which is your judgment, and it starts over again, right? It keeps on cycling. You got to keep on facing these things, and it faces both ways on that cycle.
Now, would you say it's not as much a duality of good versus evil, but maybe you can think of it analogistically, more like fire and ice, right? Like the extremes of both are
Everything,
terrible, right?
Or
Like,
like maybe darkness and light. So the Gnostics thought
all
God
of
was
it.
God was darkness, right? And the feminine nature, the Sophia of Christ, is darkness, and then light is Lucifer. And so Lucifer is not a dualistic quality. It's not 50%. It's maybe 20. Who knows what percentage of infinity? But like because God is beyond, then the light is created and it exists, but there's still beyond that more darkness that can consume it. And we've had a huge inversion there where we think, oh, God is light, God is the Lucifer, the morning star, which is not the way Erasmus put it in the Bible either, right? I mean, it's been changed there too. So we have a lot of inversions in this idea of that star that is in the triangle that has the eye. It is representing of the architect, but the architect is created by God or allowed to exist and separated, right? In the beginning, there's
And that's Brahma.
God, right, and let there be light, and God separated themselves from light, right?
Yeah, so there it's what it sent something into the abyss, which is the matrix, which is the female, it's the womb, right? Into the darkness, essentially. And then it creates light within that, and then it's spreading that light. And those are, Brahma is seen as having four faces, basically, just the four cardinal directions, but it's really arraying out into everything. And Brahma is tasked with figuring out how in something that is nothing, how to make something happen, essentially. Right. So it's breaking it all up. So if you look at the Bible, it's encoded in the Bible. You'll see that Abraham is where it divides, right? And then Solomon, it's where it divides. Everything keeps dividing, and all these main characters that are always a part of the same bloodline, right? They keep on dividing and having to brave the future. David, it actually says divide, right? Because you take out the vowels. They didn't have vowels in Hebrew. So it is divide. So you get these very similar linguistic things. Like all of our language goes back to this, where it's uh it's showing you that it's a branching off that needs to happen. You have to brave the world and face these demons or whatever it is that you're facing. You have to face new challenges, and then you learn from those challenges and you get beneficial mutations, and then you keep facing the new and the new and the new, and until it learns from itself, and eventually you know we can come to a balance where we don't have to divide no more, and we might see that we will not even need uh sexes eventually, you know?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. People have been talking about gender versus engenderment, right? Because there's the idea of what is biology and what is, your role in society. And so much of what women are is what they're asked to do in society, whereas there's actually what a woman is, which is different than that. I don't know. I mean,
The woman is the woman.
What do you think, Lisa? Sorry.
The woman's the virago, right?
Yeah.
And she is naturally already have that male aspect. That's why these stories always have this male break off from a woman that didn't have sex with an actual male, it had sex with God, and it becomes this hero. And it's almost like it's a hermaphroditic feature that they actually have a mutation that becomes the male. So it is a part of the woman that we become male, and the why.
I wanted to look into
biologically that holds, right? Your brain is like everybody's brain starts as a female brain, an enzyme comes, it splits, it becomes a male brain. That's like biology, how that technically is supposed to work from what I remember about biology. But as far as you saying that there is some difference, or like people now are subscribing to the difference between gender and sex, like sex assigned at birth or whatever, there's no difference. Okay. If you go into like any animal kingdom or any species that you think like the female has a defined role, whether that be something different, like the huntress in like, a lion pride or whatever, she still has the female still has whatever their designated role is. And I'm not assigning any attributes to that, but it is a defined role. And in the human species, it is a nurturing, caretaking, breastfeeding mother. And the more that we get away from that, and the more that we take that away, we're we are intentionally hurting like future generations and the existence of our species. So
so the thing about like lizards don't like breastfeed, right? So like there's a lot less nurturing for female lizards, right, than there is with the male lizards. And the other thing is, in nature, usually like peacocks, like the masculine is like the beautiful thing, and in humans, women are the beautiful thing, which is like a total inversion of nature, right? So
right, but like they at least
how long has that been going on?
They all have their assigned roles, though, is my point, right?
But
like
how old are our roles? Like, have women, like, when did women start to be the peacock in humanity? Like, this is a big deal if we're all inverted from this point, right?
Are they? I don't know. That's only if you look at looks, but I mean, men do a lot of performative behavior.
True. But I'm just saying that like
surrendered.
These roles have existed as far as we can remember for a reason, and to sit there and start like picking them apart and saying, no, we don't have to do this because it's all like, I heard a woman tweeted out the other day, it really got to me. She was like, there is no such thing as a maternal instinct, said the woman who has absolutely zero children. The maternal instinct, it's all from the patriarchy, and that like, it's designed to like hold us down and keep us at home and whatever, right? Does she not understand that like when you breastfeed a child and your child is sick, that your breast milk composition changes in order to like, compensate for the baby being sick? Do they not know that when you're also—
I don't think they all know that. That's the thing.
I mean, like, not even that though. Like there are basic biological functions that are different.
Yeah.
If you feed a male that is the exact same weight as a female and you feed them both alcohol, the way that they metabolize that alcohol is completely different because of their body composition. And the woman will always get drunk faster than the man. You're going to say, just because like, I feel like I'm a different gender, that's going to go away. Like, or that you're nurtured. I'm not saying that there isn't a spectrum. There is like, standard deviation for everything. We are on a bell curve. And yeah, there's some people that are mothers that are extra nurturing. I probably fall into the middle to the end of like, because I'm a pretty independent person, but like, and there are women that suck at nurturing, and there are men that are very good at nurturing. Just because like there are some outliers on this spectrum of how it is, doesn't mean that we can just get rid of the whole system because it makes somebody feel better about themselves. It is not conducive to civil society. And I don't understand why we're just gonna, and it invalidates women. If all these women are saying like, oh, we're feminists, you are taking away absolutely everything that makes it special to be a woman, and acting like, acting like you are helping us. You're not helping me. You're certainly not helping me. I don't want a man with fake boobs to be like, oh yeah, I had the same motherly and nurturing instinct, because you didn't know you didn't house a baby in your womb for 9 months twice over like I did. You just didn't. I know it's never going to be the same. Sorry.
Did you ever watch that movie Accepted about that kid who can't get into college unless he's black? No, it was that movie, the fake black movie.
Soul Man. That's an old one though.
What's it called? Soul Man. Is that Soul Man? That's it. It's totally Soul Man. Yes.
On that one.
Yes. So you ever seen that movie? So he can't get into college unless he's black. So he goes to college, and his teacher is like, who's his teacher? It's like James Earl Jones or something like that is his teacher. Let me see. Earl Jones. And he's like, I'm black just like you. And he's like, no, you're not. You've not been through what we've been through. You don't understand what it means, until eventually he starts to suffer a lot. And then he's like, well, now you're starting to get it, is that no one's going to care. And no one's going to sympathize, and you're going to have to work twice as hard, and that's life. And I think the same movie could be easily made about women, and somebody who's like, I got to go to college. I can't get in unless I'm a woman, like Bosom Buddies with Tom Hanks. But
yeah. And just to clarify, what I meant by it was that the reason that I think that males needed to actually be made in this world was because we were supposed to be protecting the females and the children. And I'm not saying, I'm just saying, like, maybe down the line, if we perfect ourselves to a certain point and get to a balance, that we may not need the male anymore eventually. But that's like, that's just theoretically down the line. I wasn't trying to say that we should all become hermaphrodites. And
I mean,
dude, I want to be a seahorse. I'm down. I don't know.
I get it, but like the males should protect the women. And if you want to look at like the deterioration of society, and I'll take it to a religious context if we're going biblical, right? God made man first, right? So therefore he's the leader, and he made woman second. So therefore it is man's duty to be first, to protect the woman, and to lead the woman. If you want to say that women ruined society with the feminist movement, which I think that they very much did, right? It starts because the man let them. Weak men let them start and take all over the place. Men need to regain their position in society, regain their masculinity, stop like
they let
simping.
nerds like Bill Gates and stuff like that take over, and they're feminine men, and they're not really masculine at all, and they're the ones that are trying to dictate and propagandize us towards becoming more effeminate as males, and not being strong and making stances for the whole world, making sure that fertility can continue on. If we don't do that, then we're going to fail as a species.